Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Magduit and we're here again with another rack. Wait a minute, no, it's not another rack. It's a preset for Patcher in FL Studio. What is going on, dude? This is crazy. Today is a crazy day. It's really not that crazy. I use a lot of DAWs if you guys didn't know, and I thought it'd be fun to try and start putting some things out there for some of the other DAWs that I really like to use. So yeah, we're in FL Studio. We got a Patcher preset for you today. And I'm excited because this is one that I've been working on for a few years actually, and it's something that I love the sound of. Now it's called the Magduit Blur tool, and the idea here is it uses a bunch of stock FL Studio plugins. Assuming you have the suite, you should be able to use this without having to download anything. And yeah, the idea here is it's a reverb, but it's a little bit more than a reverb. It's more of a ambient space reverb, and it's a very controllable ambient space reverb, so it has a lot of fine-tuning settings that you can kind of perfect your sound with, which I really appreciate and have enjoyed using inside of FL Studio over the years. So let us jump into what this tool is and how it works. So to start off, let's go ahead and just listen to this loop that I have. It's a loop that I did generate in Ableton with the Virtual Riot loop generator. So shout out to Virtual Riot. Thank you for putting out such cool content for us music creators. And yeah, let's just listen to this. Yeah, that's a vibe, yo. That just gets you moving. Now let's go ahead and listen to it with the blur tool turned on in its default setting. So here we go. Pretty cool. And you can hear that reverb tail just sort of trail out there. First button here, which is kind of hidden, is this little plug, and that is the bypass. So you can see here when it's lit up, that means it's turned on, and when you click it, it's turned off. Next, we got the reverb knob. This is what sends the input of the dry signal into the entire reverb section. And then, yeah, this is a little selector fader. So this will select the reverb type, and it does work if you have it sort of in between reverbs here. I put these lines here to sort of show you where the midpoints are. And yeah, so that way you can have two reverbs going at once. Then we have a high pass and low pass filter. That's what by default is pre-reverb. So it allows you to determine, you know, if you want to cut out some low frequencies. By default, this is enabled, or in the sense that like it's actually up. You could drag this back down if you want to add more low frequencies, but I have found that reverbs can get muddy very quickly, so I just have it by default high passing. And then there's a button to the right of it that lets you turn it to be post reverb, which means this filter will let all the frequencies through, and then it'll let you filter it after the reverb has already, you know, felt all the frequencies. Next, we have a dry and a wet knob. So this is the two levels for each of the signals that are going into the reverb. So the dry is just the dry signal. So this is kind of like the bypass for the reverb. And then you have the wet signal of the reverb. And then last but not least, you have a decay knob, which is pretty classic. Can't think of a reverb out there that doesn't have a decay knob. Maybe convolution at times, but yeah. So that is the reverb section. The next section down here is the blur section. So this is the blur input amount. So this is basically determining how much of the signal is being sent to the blur section here. And this is another type of reverb, as I said, but it does allow you to select the input type. So you can kind of go between the dry signal or the verb input signal, meaning you could have basically this is like a second reverb if you want. Another filter, same as the previous one. This is the pre-blur reverb filter. And then if you want to make it post, you can just turn on this button here and it will make it post. Then we have a couple of knobs here. So the first knob is a dry knob. These next two knobs are a little bit wacky. The morph knob is essentially a knob that affects a delay, a multiband delay inside of this tool here, and it is before the blur reverb. So essentially what it lets you do is adjust the timbre of the blurred reverb. And then we have a wash knob. This is like essentially how much of the blur is going to be felt, and or it's kind of like the decay of this reverb, but unlike a decay, which would adjust the timing of it, This doesn't do any timing adjustment. This is basically just determining how much of it you're feeling from it. So if I have it turned down, you can obviously hear some of it, but then if we turn it up, and then the last little section here is kind of your mixing input-output section. So we have a global input knob and then a global output knob, which are pretty self-explanatory. Just lets you go up or down some decibels. And then this set of 3 knobs here, I'm sure you guys have seen, is a lows, mids, and highs mix down knob. So you can kind of boost the different sections as you please. And yeah, pretty fun tool. So that's the Magduit blur tool. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is something that is pretty different. So yeah, let me know what you all think. If you're an FL gang member out there, definitely let me know your thoughts. And if you're not an FL gang member, you should hop onto the tri-DAW vibe, bro. What are you doing, dude? Stuck in one DAW? But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Love each and every one of you. Please like, comment, subscribe, all that fun, cool stuff. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to keep making music. Peace.